ready to go. A gray overcast Sunday afternoon at the Big A. The snow is melted on the infield and the turf. We set our sights on the first day of spring this coming week. And, of course, we're glad you're with us here on MSG Plus for the fastest 30 minutes at all thoroughbred racing. Jason Blewitt, the Mig, Richard Migliore is next to me in our second-floor clubhouse studios. And I'll tell you, man, a lot of ground to cover on tonight's show.
Yeah, a lot of ground to cover. And looking back at this past week at the top performers as well as looking forward, just a great action-packed show. And like you said, the fastest 30 minutes, we keep a sprinter's pace up.
Indeed we do. Blazing speed. We're going that opening quarter in 21 flat as we dive right into the Sunday headlines and get out to Oaklawn Park with Untappable, who is a surprising defeatist, if you will, in yesterday's Azari Stakes, but it sounds like she came out of that second-place finish okay.
Yeah, and that's all you want to hear. This was a building block, something to start her year off with. She ran well. She did everything but win. Winner got a nice ride, and I think was a little bit aided by the bias. I think the inside and the speed was good. But what do? Do you come back with the Apple Blossom with a race over the track, or do you go to Churchill where you know she loves it?
She loves Churchill, but you got the race over the track. It was unfortunate, too, that it rained. I felt bad for Oaklawn, and I felt bad for the major horses that shipped in for those stakes engagements, that it was a track label good, but really it looked more muddy and was downgraded to sloppy by the time the Rebel rolled around.
Yeah.
For me, I'm going right back into the Grade 1 Apple Blossom against Gold Medal Dancer.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think that she's got the race over the track. She has the first race back behind her. And just go with the original plan. Don't call an audible at this point. She'll be very tough in the
And a
Apple
potential
Blossom.
coup for Oaklawn Park with another Eclipse Award winner from 2014, American Pharaoh, who it does appear is bound most likely for the April 11th $1 million Oaklawn Park handicap. No worse for the wear after losing a shoe at the start of yesterday's Rebel.
Yeah, I personally don't think it had anything to do with his performance. I don't think he would have run any better with that shoe. It was a hind shoe. I think he got over the track fine. You could just see his stride, his rhythm. He looks terrific. Now, obviously, in a perfect world, you don't want to lose any shoes, but I really don't think it had any effect on his performance. And his performance was very strong, albeit a very soft, easy lead.
It was a soft, easy lead. We'll find out potentially a bit more about him down the road in his second prep, but no miscues here for American Pharaoh. He needs everything to go right, and he's one of two major contenders within the top 20 for the Kentucky Derby regarding 3-year-olds less than 50 days out to the first Saturday in May for trainer Bob Baffert, who also has the unbeaten Dorman. I had flashbacks, or have flashbacks, Indian Charlie, Real Quiet, Point Given, and Congaree.
Yeah, very good point. You know, horses that, and you know what, have a similar look to them, and certainly similar records. Interesting, the horse that has wintered here in New York, El Kabir, leading the points board here. International Star's been doing really well at Fairgrounds. American Pharaoh, you made a good point, though. He definitely can't have anything go wrong from this point on. He is still playing catch-up.
And we see Frosted for Godolphin and Kieran McLaughlin, number 15. I read Mike Welsh's Twitter of the Daily Racing Form. Not etched in stone, but it does appear Kieran McLaughlin is leaning towards bringing Frosted here for the TwinSpires.com $1 million Wood Memorial on Saturday, April 4th, as we bounce out to the West Coast and check out Firing Line, at least his last race in the Bob Lewis behind Dortmund, a game runner. Doesn't have Dortmund's number, but he had a nice workout this morning in Southern Cali.
And you kind of expect that from him. He's a horse that possesses a lot of speed. Horses with speed generally work fast. They're aggressive. I know Gary Stevens was very critical of himself with the ride here against Dortmund in the Lewis, feeling like he went after him too soon, maybe moved too early. I think tactically it was the right move. You try to pull the rug on him, take it away from him. Dortmund, just a little bit better, a little bit gamer. I'm not convinced Firing Line is a true distance horse.
Penultimate round of Kentucky Derby preps. We'll see at least against inferior competition, you would think, or a spot where he'll be favored this coming Sunday, in fact, in the Sunland Derby. If Firing Line can get the distance, looks like both he and Lord Nelson will be the big two, gunning for the top prize of 50 Kentucky Derby points. But just like that, my friend, at the end of next weekend, the first weekend in spring, we run into that final round of preps where the points go up and the purses are pretty much $750 to $1 million across the board.
Wow, they really do amp up the purses. I find it interesting and honestly a bit disconcerting that the Dubai Derby or
UAE Derby, yeah.
I mean, come on, Maidan, really, is this going to have huge Derby ramifications at 100 points?
It's kind of a cop-out, I know. It just doesn't feel right. There's just something wrong with it at 100 points to the winner. Good feelings, though, all around on the National Racing Report. That felt right, along with Andy Serling in the mix. We hope you'll tune in. Kind of a quiet weekend outside of the two champions returning at Oaklawn Park, but I truly believe we had a real fun show here in the studio this morning.
Well, it wasn't, too many races to talk about. We had to race through everything. We could really get to the heart of some issues and talk about things in depth, but still some good races and returning horses that we really got into.
And I got to say, it was nice having a Sunday stake race late in the card. It was carded as the 8th race. We ran 9 today. We jump-started the program at 1:20 p.m., and the spotlight was on a group of 5 3-year-old fillies in our featured 8th race, the $100,000 23rd Cicada.
So too did Hard to Stay Not Go, racing out after that lead, and she is very keen. Hard to Stay Not Go, fighting the rider just a bit, nonetheless in front 3/4 of a length. Over-prepared, giving chase second and outside. Noble and Beauty in the clear on the outside, running in third. Eloquent Tribute has advanced up toward the rail in fourth. Long shot closer Spotted Heart is at the back, 5 lengths behind. Hard to Stay Not Go's first quarter was 23-4, hitting the far turn run with Over-prepared in pursuit, second and outside. Noble and Beauty, 3 wide round the far turn run. Asks for more speed now. She's third and moving up 3 wide. While Eloquent Tribute continues to work out a trip in behind from fourth. She's only 2.5 lengths behind. 6 lengths back to Spotted Heart as the field turns for home. Hard to Stay Not Go still in front, but here comes Noble and Beauty on the outside. And Noble and Beauty has taken over and is kicking away from Hard to Stay Not Go. Eloquent Tribute is now third and Over-prepared is back into fourth, heading into the final 16th. And Noble and Beauty is finishing full of run and will sail home to win the Cicada by 6 on the wire. Noble and Beauty first, ended up pretty tight for second. Eloquent Tribute and Over-prepared. Hard to Stay Not Go.
Quick 3-wide sweep off the far turn, Noble and a Beauty. Bottom line for me, Mig, she's just a lot better than the competition here.
She's really good, and she's still a little green. You're going to watch a little dipsy doodle here. She went to her left lead, right back to her right lead when she lost company. But, boy, she really, really dominated this field and gives you the feeling, the way she does things, that she will have the ability to stretch out. I thought this was very impressive.
She runs in the colors of my Meadowview Farm. Owner Len Riggio on hand, and he caught up with the Mig after taking the stake.
Okay. Len, Noble and a Beauty hasn't done anything wrong. She was unlucky to lose her last start. You had to be very impressed with today's performance.
This was amazing. This was one of the most exciting races I've ever had with any horse.
Does it make it more special? It's obviously always nice to win stakes, but when you're also the breeder.
Absolutely. We own the mare and we own the sire. Too bad he passed on.
It really is too bad he's passed on because he's really made a good impression.
I mean, my goodness, he'd be getting the mares now. He'd be in all his glory, you know. So would we, but we have her to remember him by.
What about going forward now? She's run only sprinting so far, but it looks like the way she finishes, she might be able to stretch out. Where do you think you might go next?
Well, according to the jockey and the trainer, I mean, they both think she's got the ability to go 2 turns. I don't know where we go next. I'd have to talk to Rick, but, you know, we've obviously got 2 or 3 races, our eye on 2 or 3 races.
When you watch these horses when they're younger, do you see them as foals and watch them grow up?
You know, they're all beautiful in a way. You know, you see them as weanlings and you love them, and then you see them as yearlings and they look better. And then you see them as 2-year-olds when they begin training, and, you know, they look like the, greatest creatures in the world, and then some of them can't run. But this one had all of that, and she can run.
Well, obviously she can run, and we really appreciate all your support with the New York Breeding Program. Congratulations.
All right, thank you very much.
A hands-on owner built Barnes & Noble. In fact, the founder and CEO of Barnes & Noble. He's been very successful in his business life, his professional life, and Len Riggio is really a hands-on owner. You could even hear him after you asked that question, Mig, what's it like with the weanlings to the yearlings to the 2-year-olds and watching essentially one of your kids competing at Aqueduct?
Well, and that's what it is. It's basically like one of your own children competing because you've been a part of the whole process, from picking the mating to watching this horse from the day they're born as they grow up and then leading them into the winner's circle at Aqueduct, I don't think there could be a more satisfying feeling.
Wondering if the Grade 2 Beaumont 3-year-old fillies 7/8 250K on April 12th at Keeneland might be the next spot for Noble to Beauty if she does indeed take her show on the road.
Yeah, pretty interesting. Could be the logical step to start seeing if she could stretch out. Obviously, later in the summer, races like the Prioress, the Test, you would think are on their radar.
And who knows, maybe the Acorn on Belmont Stakes
Sure.
Day. Of course, those tickets on sale currently at BelmontStakes.com. But we get back to Travis Stone, who's calling his last Intertrack card of the winter. He's done a great job, and we'll throw it back up for the call of race number 3. Pretty solid New York bred allowance race for 3 and up.
So too Lehigh 5. Giant in the Moonlight is put to the whip to forge up on through. And here comes Giant in the Moonlight up to set the pace. Fleeting second and outside. Persuasive Devil comes away in third. Lehigh 5's away fourth. Bambi's Frosty Racer settles in toward the rail fifth. Market Conduct and a bit of traffic at the back of the pack with the trailing Swivel. So they move for the backstretch run. Giant in the Moonlight with Fleeting, and these two have kicked away to a 4-length lead as they make the bend and put up a quarter in 23 and 4. So heading down the backstretch run. Giant in the Moonlight sharing the lead with Fleeting. 3-length break back to Persuasive Devil, who's third on the outside. Market Conduct advanced smartly toward the rail, up into fourth, at about 5 lengths behind as they head for the half-mile pull. On the move is Swivel. Swivel has taken over fifth but is going wide. Lehigh 5 has asked for more speed too, trying to come up between horses. A break of 4 back. Bambi's Frosty Racer has been outrun. So the field hits the far turn. Giant in the Moonlight, the clear-cut leader now. Fleeting trying to keep up and is getting closer once again as those two round the far turn together. It is still 5 lengths back to Lehigh 5, who's now taken over third. Market Conduct is under the whip in fourth. Persuasive Devil fifth, fourth, and now third. And coming on 3 wide with a quarter mile to go. 3/4 and 14 and 2. Top of the stretch now. Giant in the Moonlight. Tenuous lead. Market Conduct trying to come up the rail while Persuasive Devil comes on the far outside and Fleeting fights on between them. Furlong to go. Here comes Market Conduct squeezing through. Fleeting is kicking back in. Persuasive Devil on the outside, and these three locked in battle. 100 yards to go. Market Conduct with a narrow lead. Market Conduct right up the rail to win it. At 4-5, a hard-earned win it was. Persuasive Devil was second, Fleeting was third, and Swivel got it.
I find, Mig, you talk about the upper echelon riders in the colony. When you need it, you want that extra half length to length they'll bring, and you got it here with Irod Ortiz. This was just a flawless ride.
Flawless ride. Saved every inch of ground. This horse showed the courage in the past to rally through tighter quarters. You could see all the mud and dirt on his face. Believe me, that's not easy for a horse to run through that. This was a nice performance by both horse, rider, and trainer to have this horse ready to come off the bench and fire going 2 turns first time back. Nice to see.
Best is yet to come with Market Conduct, who is by Super Saver. He's trained indeed by Chad Brown. He's owned, in fact, by Claravich Stables and Bill Lawrence. And he strikes me as a horse who was probably, I don't know, I'm just throwing out a number, maybe 80, 85% fit. Clearly, would you think in a spot like this, there's bigger fish to fry, even with the New York bred who's still got allowance conditions?
Oh, absolutely. I think he's definitely going to go forward off of this race. Now, he did work out a great trip, but I agree with you. I don't think he was nearly 100% fit. Certainly something to build on. And I don't know that he's quite an open stakes caliber horse, but you got to think races like the Albany are races he's going to look pretty good in.
And we've got some 3-year-old maidens coming up. Kier McLaughlin, Christophe Comont, Chad Brown. They throw down and battle on the inner track after this quick timeout. What is that? Oh, it's a Big A mural, both inside and outside. I'll tell you, the exterior, interior of the buildings have never looked so good here at the Big A, and I especially like, aside from the artwork, long shots upstairs on the 2nd floor of the clubhouse.
Yeah, it looks really terrific, actually. And when we first saw that, I just saw a tree. I was like, a tree grows in Queens. But
how about that?
Obviously came a little bit more in focus.
We've got it all here at the Big A as we get back to Travis Stone, who's at the mic and upstairs for the call of Sunday 6. We'll jumpstart the late pick 4 and an intriguing group of 3-year-old maidens. A couple from Gulfstream, money multipliers, odds on in the red cap from Post 2. And let's see what happened as they cross the wire for the first time.
Trainer is there too, and on the far outside, Jack O'Liam. Promise and Hope is up close. All hands toward the rail. SS Minnow right down at the inside as a crush of horses look for that lead as they move into the first turn. And SS Minnow is in tight and is still in tight and is checking off heels as they made the turn. Jack O'Liam up to set the pace. All hands right with Jack O'Liam though. So those two around that first turn together. 3 lengths back to Promise and Hope, who comes on to be third now. Arbitrator's fourth and toward the inside. SS Minnow's back in fifth. Money Multiplier out in sixth and already 8 lengths off the lead. Then it's Autumn Ember and Mr. Manolo at the back of the pack as the field moves down the backstretch run. 23 and 3. Heading for the half-mile pull. All hands up top. Jack O'Liam, snug hold second and outside. Promise and Hope is getting closer, angling toward the outside from third. Still 4 lengths back to Arbitrator SS Minnow. Money Multipliers ask for more speed's going to get stuck a bit wide onto that far turn run. Mr. Manolo coming through to that one's inside, and still at the back it's Autumn Ember. So they round the far turn. All hands is shaking loose. All hands opens up to lead by 2. Jack O'Liam couldn't keep up. Promise and Hope under a drive. Third on the outside. 5 lengths back to Arbitrator SS Minnow. Money Multiplier is going to try and come wide for the stretch drive. A lot of ground to make up, though. And then it's Mr. Manolo, and way out of it is Autumn Ember. They're off the turn, and it is All Hands who has kicked away. All Hands, 6-length lead heading for the 8th pole. Arbitrator coming down the center of the track. Jack O'Liam gives it up late. Mr. Manolo down inside. Here's the 16th. All Hands is right up against the rail and is holding on to a 5-length lead, and it will be All Hands and Jose Ortiz sharp today. 5 lengths in the end. Arbitrator second. Mr. Manolo third. Jack O'Liam was fourth.
Gray Full to 8 bells by Unbridled Song. Set a fast pace, kept going. Kieran McLaughlin is just so good with his second-time starters.
Yeah, he didn't show really anything sprinting, but certainly going long. Agreed with him. One thing about it, though, Jason, he was really lugging in, getting up on top of the fence, and that's not good going forward. He's going to have to straighten his act out a little bit because when a day comes when he's going to have to run, like he won very easily today, a rider can't continually correct him and have him run forward. So he needs to, they need to get to the bottom of why he lugged in so badly through the stretch.
First time Lasix, a big price, 7-1 coming up from Gulfstream, one of your angles. You've talked about it ad infinitum, it seems, over the last couple of weeks. And you give an edge to horses that just spent the winter in Florida that are coming back to the Big Apple.
Coming out of that warm weather into the cooler weather, it just seems like horses excel. Now, obviously, they've probably been running against somewhat tougher, but it just seems like they blossom and flourish. And one aside to this that I have to bring up, Away was a filly I used to ride for John Kimmel that I won on my first win back after breaking my arm badly at Belmont Park. She was my first winner back, so I just thought that was a cool connection.
Good story. She was a solid horse. Looked up her past performances. 3 other than caliber, maybe grade 3 at her best, but yeah, you won a bunch of races, and she was cranking out some buyers in her prime in the high 90s. Good stuff. But let's get it back to Travis Stone with the calls of 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, and 9.
Go by the quarter pole. Gypsum Johnny on the outside of Passalicious. Copernicus comes wide off the turn, but is still coming. Heading for the final furlong. Gypsum Johnny's in front now. Copernicus on the outside. Passalicious toward the rail. 5 lengths back. BB's Remington has moved into fourth. Here's the final 16th, and it is Gypsum Johnny with a 2-length lead. Copernicus still grinding it out, but is still second as they come for the wire, and Gypsum Johnny. 1.5 lengths in the end over Copernicus second, Passalicious third, BB's Remington forcing a few of them out there, including Yes I'm True, and way out was Moon Silver off the turn, so they're at the top of the stretch, and To Aaron Again has come on to take the lead from Quick Pick Nick. Moon Silver's continuing to close on the outside. Crypto Coyote's picking through the pack and is rallying toward the rail. Needs to find a way out. Heading into the final 16th. Quick Pick Nick is back in front. To Aaron Again. Crypto Coyote final try. Here's the wire. Quick Pick Nick the winner. To Aaron Again was second. Crypto Coyote third. Moon Silver. So they hit the top of the stretch, so let it be so. Trying to shake loose from the pack. It opens up to lead by 2 with 3/16 to go. Mama Giovanna wandering about the track in second. Harlan 6 and by Sheila not about the nails back in fifth. In the meantime, So Let It Be So has kicked away. 4-length lead with a 16th to go. Mama Giovanna giving chase to the wire, but it will be So Let It Be So. 3 lengths in the end. Mama Giovanna was second, tight third by Sheila or Not About the Nail. Trail as they hit the top of the stretch. 40 in Dilemma trying to see it out for 3 more 16ths. Wild Finish has moved into second and is trying to come on. Ready to defers now third. Here comes the 8th pole. 40 in Dilemma has given it up to Wild Finish. Wild Finish has come on to take the lead and is now opening up to lead by 2 as they come down to the wire. So Wild Finish from off the pace, a 3-length winner. 40 in Dilemma was second. Flying Zealous with Ready to Defer and Reggie D. He comes wide. Diker Beach, the whip is out at the back. Top of the stretch now. Brendan G still in front. Opening up by 2 off the turn. Pegasus Red coming on the outside. Here comes Pegasus Red. And Hampton 5-1's in tight toward the rail. Still with a shot with a furlong to go. Brendan G holding on to that lead. Pegasus Red trying to get by. Hampton 5-1 was stopped toward the rail. Blue chips only. Racing to the wire. Brendan G. Here's Pegasus Red. Pegasus Red surges to win. Pegasus Red first, Brendan G second, Hampton 5-1, Tough Luck third, Blue Chips only inside, gives it up late. Here's Wonderish on the far outside, and Agate between them. Moonlight Fantasies in tight, in behind, trying to find a seam. 1 furlong to go. Agate's in front. Wonderish on the outside, plugging away. Wonderish won't give it up. Neither will Lexoya toward the rail. Moonlight Fantasy is fourth. Final 16th, Agate's in front. Lexoya's in tight. Moonlight Fantasy clear sailing now, but here's the wire, and it will be Agate. A length winner on the wire. Moonlight Fantasy, Lexoya, and Wonderish.
Hold all tickets in the nightcap. The gray Agate crossed the line first. A long steward's inquiry, a lengthy jockey's objection, and the stewards, well, they decided that Irad Ortiz was guilty. We've got the head on. Blue cap, gray horse, black blinkers. You could take us through, Mig.
Yeah, well, Irad sees the filly on his inside's not going away. He decides he's going to pull over on top of her. You can see him look at her 2 or 3 times, and he just overdid it. He came and took her ground. And that filly wasn't going to beat him, but it probably cost her second. So what are you doing? You got her beat. You're going by her. I don't understand why Irad felt compelled to pull over on top of that filly. He definitely overdid it. And it was a big mistake, and unfortunately, it's a mistake that didn't just cost him a win. It cost the wagering public, and it cost the connections, the trainer and the owner.
Right.
And nobody feels satisfied with that.
Absolutely not. I feel bad for Agate as well, and she will now, because she was the only horse covered in the pick 6. We do have a carryover of just under $24K into Thursday's card. Claims on the day. Race 1, my friend, was pretty popular.
Yeah, it seemed like everybody was getting involved early here. It's good to see Don Toscano's having a terrific meet. Get one for Brand Jam Stable, and you know, always a lot of action when David Jacobson's involved as well.
Another 4-day racing week down at the Big A. We take a look back, the week's top performers, when we come back on this edition of Insider. Welcome back. We can see somewhere Mom Duha closing in the fog over the slop, taking the correction on Saturday.
Yeah, and just a terrific performance by her. 364-day layoff, a day short of a year, and runs her record to 5 wins from 6 starts with a second.
Aqueduct Distaff, April, middle of April, maybe her next spot. How about Curious Cow? A much clearer day, a drier track Friday. Holy smokes, a 101 buyer.
Yeah, serious racehorse figures here. Curious Cow. I think he got a good setup, but boy, he sure finished the deal. And see those colors in the winner's circle a great deal lately, haven't we?
We have, and reminds me of Dominic Galusio, the owner, Francis P., we'll call him, a longtime client of Dominic Galusio, as we get back to First Spark, who started the week, or started Friday's card with a very seasoned effort. Man, he was good coming up from Gulfstream.
Broke from the outside post, found the rail, took the kick back, the dirt thrown back in his face, split horses, very professional, and a super ride from Kendrick Carmouche.
Kendrick Carmouche has picked up some serious business. Basically, as we talked the other day, riding First Call for Mike Rapoli. He's riding for Chad Brown. He's riding for Bruce Levine, Todd Pletcher, and we'll see what he can do as the spring meet nears. But the week's hot jockey doesn't go to a journeyman. We give it to an apprentice rider. Angel Cruz, a nice week, winning a bunch of races. In fact, a handful.
5 for 21, basically hitting at 25%. Good job by his agent, Billy Castle, and him. Angel Cruz has impressed me, and I like what I'm seeing from this young man, and he just continually improves his game. You got to like him.
He's learned from his mistakes. He has not been completely infallible, but it seems like mistakes he's making one week, he's coming back and correcting. He's been aggressive with speed horses lately, and he, of course, is sitting 4th or 5th. No, 4th, in fact. I'll get my eyes checked after the show. 45 wins for Angel Cruz, but I'll tell you, Jose Ortiz won 3 consecutive races today.
Yeah, Jose Ortiz, every time Irad kind of nibbles at his lead, he kind of plays a little cat and mouse and scoots away again. Manny Franco getting back in the swing of things off of that suspension, but a nice little colony there.
It's a long way from St. Catherine Parish, Jamaica to the Big A, but that is the road Charlton Baker has taken. He is a native of Jamaica, and he's just knocking them dead in the trainer standings.
Yeah, his horses are all running well, and nice to see. You know, we've had similar names up there. Nice to get Charlton Baker up there because he earned the trainer of the week.
And nearly got the money with Expression in the correction. She was too good to lose in that race. David Jacobson, meanwhile, 32. 10 in front of Linda Rice.
Yeah, and he's been leading from flagfall, and I think to that's all. But a lot of people having good meets there. David Jacobson actually getting ready to head to Dubai.
Oh, with Saludos Amigos in the $3 million Golden Shaheen owner standings, and we'll see who's leading the owner standings. David Jacobson, who actually is the majority owner of Saludos Amigos. He's got 15 wins. Rapoli stable, a couple of tough beats today. Not really a tough beat in the Cicada, but Brendan G in the race prior had the race won, but Pegasus Red just picked them off in that last stride.
Yeah, that was a tough beat, but all of the Rapoli horses have been running well, and they've been having a terrific winter.
And, of course, we've got that Pick 6 carryover in Thursday's card. It's never too early to study as we send it over to Andy and Maggie.
Well, the 7th race on Thursday, and it's kind of hard to look ahead to Thursday. It's a long ways away from now, but I think it's an interesting 5-horse field because I'm not a big fan of the horses that may take money towards the inside, and I'm going to give a horse, the 4 Prairie Stone, one more chance. She was supposed to be speed last time, and somehow she wasn't just not speed, she dropped into a different zip code. And the fact that the rider, Jeremy Rose, is back aboard leads me to believe that something happened early in the race that really took her out of the race. She is a much better horse than that. And if she can run back to her prior couple of efforts coming off the layoff, I think there's no reason she can't beat this field. She should get a good stalking trip. I'm going to hope once again that Prairie Stone, the 7th race on Thursday, is closer to the pace, and this time she gets it done. And through the magic of television, close your eyes and you'll open them up, and the next person you see in this spot is going to look a lot better than I do.
Hey guys! See you right over there. I'm in your studio, invading on a little bit of territory, but for today's Paddock Insider, for the Thursday card, we're going to take a look at race number 2. It's a maiden special weight for 4-year-olds and up. We're going the mile in 70, and I like a horse in here who is 3rd off the bench for trainer Todd Pletcher, and that is Cosmo Blue. Last time out, he got to a distance where he is better at. 2, he looked that much more fit. This time around, though, he has the addition of blinkers, and he is a horse who seems to idle late. So I think with that equipment change and being 3rd off of the bench, Cosmo Blue should be able to get the job done on Thursday. That's your Paddock Insider. Guys, back to you.
Thank you very much, Maggie and Andy. We'll look forward to those picks on Thursday. Again, 8 races, 121st post, 23,000 plus in the Pick 6. That begins in race 3. We covered 8 races. We had our own little Pick 8 on the racing report. Oaklawn was really the focus of the attention off the bat, and we mentioned 2 races there, but what about the Razorback with Race Day?
Well, Race Day has certainly shown that he's a player. 106 buyer figure, a hard-fought victory, and a horse that looks like he's still got a forward move in him.
The Grays threw it down. Good race in the Razorback between he and Midnight Hawk. You will see that in its entirety. Post time 6 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday right here on MSG+. Another 4-day racing week in the chart books forever. The Mig and I thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time from the beautiful Big A.